What is up, CSGs? In this video, I'm going to talk about why I think it's time for Amen Thompson to start. Tap in right now. Enjoy. The Rockets Chop Shop is your one-stop shop for all your basketball needs, for highlights, analysis, podcasts. We do it all here at the Rockets Chop Shop. Make sure you hit the like button on the videos that you watch if you enjoy them. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications from all the great drops that we have on the channel. Also, you can visit the Chop Shop merch store and get you some of the swaggiest gear in the Houston Rockets kingdom. And if you want, you can always support the channel directly through donations. And if you want, you can support us through our partnerships with our sponsors. The Rockets Chop Shop is made by fans, for fans, and we're gonna keep rocking and keep dropping that heat.
This is something I know.
Hey, Coach, what gave you the confidence to stick with Amen Thompson in the fourth quarter?
Well, he was playing, quite frankly. I mean, his activity, like I said before the game, he's growing on a nightly basis and gives us a ton of versatility. The other piece is obviously Dylan got his fourth foul, so you want another defender in there with Booker and Durant out there. And so Jabari did a decent job on Durant, and we liked his length and athleticism on Booker. But, he blocked Booker's jump shot, he blocked the Durant jump shot, and he blocked the Bowl jump shot. So those are rare for guys to block those guys, and his activity on both ends was great.
When you look at the turnarounds in the first quarter and then again in the second half, how instrumental was he in this? Yes.
Yeah, he's a big piece of it. I think the whole bench unit in general came in and gave us a spark. We didn't obviously start our best again. We had, I think, 6 points at the 6-minute mark, and so, missing some easy shots, but turned the ball over. They got out and got some, had a 16-point lead early, so I think our bench came in and sparked us and, cut the deficit, but also just gave us some much-needed energy, confidence, athleticism, and so Amen was a big piece of that.
For most of the season, when you didn't have Dylan, it would be Tate in those minutes. What gave you the confidence that Amen could play the wing for you?
Well, he pretty much can go 1 through 4 and guard all those positions. So for him, it was a matter of being injured early, not being in the rotation, obviously, for those 20-plus games. And so little by little, the more he's playing, the more confidence he's getting. And that's one thing we always said translated to NBA right away was his defensive versatility, athleticism, and so
the Rockets are coming off a 114-110 win over the Phoenix Suns. If you want to see a good kind of overall view of that game, check out the post-game live by my homie Space Ghost on the channel in the live tab, and you can see kind of a breakdown and his reactions to that with the other some of the people from the Chop Shop community. But for me, I got to talk about Amen Thompson. That's what we got to talk about. Amen Thompson, man. I've been meaning to do a feature on him on the channel for some time now. Been extremely busy, so why not now while he comes off a game where he basically looked like prime Dennis Rodman, prime Scottie Pippen, prime Draymond Green, prime any of the best defenders that you could think of. This dude was able to block the shots of not only Bobo, who's 7'3", also blocked the shot of Kevin Durant, who's damn near 7'1", and also got Devin Booker, who when he pulls up, he jumps so high, he's damn near 7'1" when he's shooting. Being able to block 3 of those jump shots, not layups, jump shots, is just crazy. The impact, as soon as him and Cam came in the game, it changed everything for the Rockets in order for us to get that win. We've seen his development from the first time we saw him play, where he's dribbling the ball too high, losing it, uncoordinated, getting lost on defense, to where he is now. And it is a totally different player. One of the most exciting parts for me about Amen is just, obviously, everything he does on the court is exciting. Like, he's a super athlete, able to change direction, lateral movement, all that stuff. The stuff that gives me the hope is when I see him drive down to the basket and use his shoulders like a truck stick. We saw it a little bit. Y'all remember when I did that breakdown in the summer league where he big boyed, I forgot who the dude was. I think it was the Blazers or somebody. But that is a little snapshot, just a little glimpse of what you think that he can turn into offensively. But even with his limitations, there are so many exciting things about this kid, and I want to talk about them. So I'm going to go over some of the key reasons why I think Amen should be starting number 1 and why I think he's going to be a special player in the league going forward. Tap it. So with the Rockets' stated goals of trying to scrap for the play-in for the rest of the post-All-Star break, coming out and losing against the Pelicans the way they did was just terrible, right? That is not how you want to start off the break. They got bullied. They got punked. It was a game in which that I felt like, they had chances early on, but it kind of went off the rails. Alp had a bad game. Jalen had a bad game. Fred had a bad game. Damn near the whole team had a bad game. Ime had a bad game. And it really snowballed out of control. And one of the key reasons I'm seeing that the starters are always in whole starting games is rebounding. And this is why, to me, one of the major reasons Amen Thompson should start is rebounding. In the last 15 games, Amen Thompson leads the team in both offensive rebound percentage, defensive rebound percentage, and rebound percentage overall. This is such an important thing for a player to be able to do that is not a big man. You guys remember the videos I made about some of the weaknesses of Jabari and Şengün, which is on the glass. Like, Jabari and Şengün struggle on the glass. And in order for a team that is as short as we are to be able to make up the deficiencies of not having a rebound monster at the 4 or 5 position, you got to have rebounding by committee. And you look at Fred VanVleet, you look at Dylan Brooks, you look at Jalen Green. Even though Jalen Green has had 3 or 4 games this season where he's rebounding in double digits, those aren't good rebounders. They don't box out very well. Even when they do box out, they're too small. You compound that with Jabari's size issues and his lack of athleticism, and Şengün also same issues, size and lack of athleticism. It's a recipe for us to give up a lot of second chance points to other teams. So when Amen Thompson is not on the court for the Rockets have a offensive rebound percentage as a team of 24.5%, which will rank them in the 22nd percentile. That is extremely low. That is like in the bottom 1/5 of the NBA in offensive rebounding. Once again, compounded by lack of athleticism. Short, you guys see it every game. We go against teams with just regular sized wings and we look like midgets, right? So when he's not on the court this season, especially with Tari being out, it has hurt us a lot. If you look on Cleaning the Glass, all our markers are blue on that. And blue is usually your bottom. And then if it's orange, then means you're at the top of the league in that. Also, the Rockets have 18.8 points per 100 possession on putback. So these are offensive rebounds that turn into scores for the team after we miss a shot, right? So that's 24.5%. On offensive rebounds in half court, and then off of misses, only 18.8 points per 100 possessions, which are both low. When you bring Amen Thompson on the court, that offensive rebound percentage goes up to 28.7% from 24%, which would put us at 65th percentile in the NBA, which is pretty much way above average. That's top third in the league. Once again, for a short team, these are valuable possessions. And then the putbacks really jump up to 22.7 points per 100 possession. So that's 4 more points on offensive rebounds and making turning those into buckets on the team. You think about how many games the Rockets have lost close, right? When it comes down to the time for us to win, or whether it's games that we're not hitting our threes, how important is it not only to secure offensive rebound, but also get one back? So to me, the rebounding is a big deal for Amen Thompson. In the last 15 games, he is currently the best rebounder on the team, bar none. Over Şengün, over Jabari. He leads the team in all 3 rebounding percentage categories, offensive, defensive, and overall. And I think that is just one of the reasons why he should be on the court. Another major reason why Amen Thompson deserves to start is his ability to get the Rockets easy shots. And he does this by getting us into transition, and not just transition by pushing the pace or just getting the ball and just going to the other side of the court to go score. Because when we do that, we turn the ball over, right? And if you look on NBA.com, in the last 15 games, Amen Thompson is the 7th slowest pace Rocket on the team, behind number 8, Jeff Green, right? Number 1 is Cam Whitmore on pace, then Fred, then Jalen, etc. So Alp has more pace in the last 15 games than Amen Thompson. But you're going to say, like, I'm watching the games. Amen is always running. The question you got to ask is, what is he running out of? Is it on when they pass the ball into the court after a made by the defense? No, what he's running out of are defensive stops, and especially stops where he gets steals. One of the great things I love about Cleaning the Glass is that it kind of correlates their data in a way that makes sense, right? So like I said, Amen Thompson, you're going to ask, he has slow pace, but we always see him run in transition. So let's look at what the on-offs look like with Amen Thompson, and that'll explain it a little bit better. So when you look at his on-off, you look at with him off the court for the Rockets, we run transition about 13.5% of the time, which would be one of the worst in the league, right? So you guys know that we are a bad transition team, and we don't get into transition a lot. And one of the things you also want to look at is what is causing your transitions. Two main ways to get into transition play is going to be off a turnover, which is usually a steal, or a live rebound off a miss from the opposing team. And for the Rockets, getting in transition off of steals, this is 65% of our transition points come off of steals, right? And this would be kind of middle of the pack in the NBA. We are technically still a good defense that do force a lot of turnovers. So you can see that with the Rockets, without Amen Thompson on the court, we are pretty much bottom or below average in everything as it relates to transition, whether it's 13.5% frequency of running transition, the 65% off of steals, and the 24% off of live rebounds. Now, when you put Amen Thompson, when he's on the court, you're going to see what changes in transition, right? We go up in frequency by about 3% to about 16%. But the biggest thing that really changes is the frequency of transitions that are coming off of steals. It goes up from 65% to 77.5%. So that's a 12% increase. Now, when you're talking about thousands of possessions, 12% is a lot of plays. That's a lot of plays for one guy to impact that much. That would put us at the 95th percentile in the NBA. So that means we're better at getting steals and running in transition off of those steals than 95% of the league. And then off of live rebounds, it stays relatively the same, right? So a lot of Amen's transition buckets are coming off of defensive plays that he makes, and we can see this all happening in real time. These are special. These are special. So obviously, Amen has glaring holes in his offensive game, and that should not be ignored, right? Obviously, he has the shooting issues. He can't shoot, so we're gonna just start there. And obviously, the spacing becomes an issue if you can't shoot. The free throws are an issue at times for him as well, as we saw in the game against the Suns. So those are issues that he's always going to have going forward, and he has to be able to work out of that. And I trust that he will. You also have to look at the ball handling, the ball security for him. It has vastly improved from the start of the year, but that is still an issue that he's going to have, and he needs to tighten up, especially being a taller guard. Got to have a really tight handle when you're being guarded by smaller guards that are trying to pick your pockets like we see Fred do to a lot of bigger guys. So these are two major issues. But one thing that, while he is having all these limitations, I love the way Coach Udoka is using him. They're using him pretty much not as a point guard, even though that's his drafted position. Amen is being used as a wing, as a playmaking wing. I had made a tweet during the game that said, Amen reminds me of a young Draymond Green, right? Because you see how they use him as a screener, use him in a dunker spot. He's coming off the weak side to help defend the rim. He is crashing the glass for rebounds, pushing in transition, setting up his teammates for plays, and getting deflections and steals that are turning to easy points. These are things that destroy teams, right? These are momentum swinging plays. These are the equivalent of hitting a hardened step back, is when you rip a player and all their momentum is going one way, you rip the ball and you're running down the other side of the court, wide open for a one-on-one dunk with you and just nobody else around you. Those type of plays are really defeating for the opponent, and Amen has like 3, 4, or 5 of those every game. When he is on the court with the starters, so this is Amen with Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Alperen Sengun, and Jalen Green is not on the court. In these plays, when he's on the court with the start, he's only had, with that group of 4, with Amen, Sengun, Fred, and Dylan, without Jabari. Jabari is in some of the lineups, but with no Jalen Green, and only 44 possessions we've seen this, which is a travesty, plus 30. They're a plus 30. You know how they're doing it? You know how they're doing it? On defense, right? You think about the lineups that are usually paired up with those. You have Fred, a good defender, Amen, an elite defender, Dylan, a good defender, Sengun, a questionable defender, but you're surrounding him with players that are able to mitigate some of the weaknesses. And one of the key things for that defense, and part of playing defense, is rebounding, and Amen does that for the team. Like I said, 44 possessions, plus 30. The team is not shooting well in these lineups, but what they are doing is their 40% offensive rebound rate will have them as one of the best in the league in the NBA, 100th percentile. Right. And they also get to the line a ton. One thing, Amen Thompson draws a lot of free throws because he is just a big guard that is hard to cover with his speed that he has, right? Şengün draws a lot of free throws in these lineups. So those two combined together, I'd love to see more two-man game exploring that aspect of their offense together. Once again, 99th percentile in free throw rate. And on the defensive side, they're holding teams to a low 81.4 points per 100 possession. Teams are shooting 39%. 39% with Amen Thompson on the court with the starters. 39%, forcing a NBA league leading in lineups 23.3% of turnovers per 100 possessions. That means 1/4 of the time. If you ran 4 plays against that 4-man lineup, if you ran 4 plays, you're going to get ripped once, guaranteed. That is crazy. You're going to turn the ball over once. 100 plays, you're giving up 25 turnovers for every 100 plays. That is crazy. And fine, let's talk about the defense. I think this is probably the best part of Amen's appeal as a prospect going forward, is the fact that he is right now probably one of the best isolation defenders in the NBA, and also a gifted help defender and a disruptor, right? He has that Tari Eason thing where he makes home run plays on defense. Looking at his play type ranks on defense on synergy, on handoffs, he's excellent in the 93rd percentile, holding guys to 25.9% field goal percentage on handoffs. Crazy. In isolation, 92nd percentile. Look at it. This dude is holding dudes to 18% field goal percentage. Coming off screens, good. He's ranked as good, holding guys to 36% field goal. On spot ups, he's ranked as good, holding guys to 38.5% on field goals. Pick and roll ball handler, he's below average. Guys are shooting 49.4%, which isn't great, honestly. It could be a lot better. Post ups kind of sucks there. He's pouring the post up 64.3%. That's the opponent field goal percentage. And pick and roll, guarding the roll man, 77.8%. So everything that involves, so obviously post up, he's got to get better at. I think that's part of his appeal as a guy that could guard 1 through 4. You got to be able to guard those 4s. And obviously, if it's a big man, you got to put up some resistance, a la Eric Gordon, James Harden, et cetera. That comes with strength, understanding, leverage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The pick and roll ball handler, I think that will improve vastly once he gets a better grasp of team defense. Once again, pick and roll is a team defense, right? You rely on other people to be able to do it. But I mean, for him to have 2 excellent ranks and 2 good marks on synergy as a rookie who has been hurt damn near half the year is hella impressive. Sam Vecenia made a tweet on Twitter, I think shortly after the game, where he said that in this short span, based on what he's seen from Amen Thompson, that he thinks that Amen has already shown him more as being a player than Jalen Green in his 3 years in the NBA. And as it relates to scalability and winning on a bigger scale, things you can see translate to winning going down the line when you're building a team, I would say I agree. As much as it hurts to say, I would say I agree. Because Amen just makes the things and does the things that you need for a team to be successful. To me, all of these things point at the fact that Amen Thompson should be starting. He should be starting. And the reason I believe so is that he does all the things that can help you win. If the Rockets want to win, put Amen in. Y'all remember that? Old heads, if y'all are, well, I guess I'm an old head now. It used to be, remember that phrase, if you want to win, put Booby in. That was from Friday Night Lights. Shout out to all the old heads who actually remember that movie. Some of y'all young bucks might not. But want to win, put Amen in, man. Put Amen in because the dude is going to do everything that you need on the peripheries for you to win. And he's just a beast. Right? He's going to lock up. He's going to help out guys in different areas on the court. He's going to get key rebounds, make key stops. He's going to get steals. He's going to get out in transition. He's going to impact the game, man. He's not going to drop 35, you know what I mean? Or 42 or do all that. Maybe he will at some point in his career. But at the end of the day, what you need him to do, he's going to be there. And there's something to be said for a guy that is a rookie to be as reliable as he has been. Coach Udoka made a comment that I found interesting in the post-game conference where he said that when they were asking him about Amen's performance and, was he surprised? He basically said, nah, he wasn't surprised because he said Amen was already on path. He said just off rip, day one in the NBA, he knew Amen's defensive presence would put him on the court. He said, I knew just he could guard 1 through 4. And he said if he didn't get hurt, he would be where he would have probably been, better off than where he is now. So getting to where he is now, where you can trust him to close out games as a rookie for defense, that is crazy. That is crazy. The potential there. Y'all remember the video I made, I think during the summer, of my top 6 highest potential players in the core 6. Obviously, my number 1 was Amen Thompson, and it still remains the same. The reason is he checks off multiple boxes in Frank's assessment for superstardom. Item number 1 you got to check off is God-given athletic ability. Has that, right? He has that. Item number 2 you got to check off is a physical dominance about yourself, whether it's stature, something elite that is a feature on your physical body. Amen Thompson is a 6'7" point guard, guys. A 6'7", let me not call him, I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's a guard/wing combo. So he's a 6'7" guard with a 7-foot wingspan. So check that off. And to me, one of the most important aspects of superstar potential or star potential or players that I love is basketball IQ, and that he had. And his overall grasp of NBA defense and offense. I personally feel very good about his outlook in the NBA, even if he doesn't turn into a star. I like guys that I can trust in key moments. And for me, I think Amen Thompson is a guy that I feel perfectly comfortable leaving out there in a key moment in a game. At baseline, he's going to be an elite defender. So what happens when he starts working? What happens when he starts getting in the gym? And as far as it relates to the starting lineup, who do you put him in place for? To me, of course, Jalen Green. Like, if the Rockets are serious about winning, they need to make that decision. And it's one thing if they were benching Jalen Green for Aaron Holiday, a veteran who is pretty much what he is going to be in the NBA. But it's another thing when you're putting somebody else that could possibly be the future of your franchise in that position to get those reps. These aren't wasted reps. We can still get data from another player, and there is no wasted reps for a rookie, right? So Amen Thompson can get those reps. I think Udoka is still, I don't know whether it's him or Stone. There's still a lot of politicking, and I get it. I understand it. And to an extent, I'm saying this, but I don't know if I would do it right away of benching Jalen, because to me, this is me personally, I think they know that if they go that route, that it's probably a done deal. And that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself as a franchise at this moment in time when you have really nothing to play for. So they're kind of playing with house money right now. But if to me, if they were being consistent and serious about winning, I would put Amen Thompson. My dream lineup really is Amen, Fred in the backcourt, Tari, Bari, and Şengün. If Tari ever comes back, right? If he ever comes back from his rare disease or whatever he has, hopefully bro does get healthy and gets back, because we miss him. But even with Dylan there, I think Amen, you put him in that lineup, he addresses the rebounding, the defensive issues, and then you can have Jalen come in and supplement on offense off the bench. That is what I would do. But y'all let me know, man. What do y'all think about Amen Thompson as a prospect? Should he be starting? And who should he start over? Let me know in the comments and in the chat. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. Keep rocking with the Chop Shop. We're going to keep dropping that